About 100 people recently gathered at North Carolina's Camp Cale to strengthen the future of Christianity by making sure these teenagers know how to stand up for the facts of their faith.
It's an interesting time in America. Some are calling it a post-Christian America, which might lead you to think, well, then why teach young people about how to defend the Christian faith?
So that the gospel can continue to go on.
American Family Radio's Miki and Will Addison say keeping Christianity alive and well in the U.S. can feel like an uphill battle.
There's almost this loss of hope. They say that this is the least religious generation in the history of the United States of America.
We feel like, man, before they even leave the house, a lot of times they're already gone.
Still, Miki insists there's no reason to surrender Generation Z.
I often go, wait a minute, Gen Zers, these people are still eating at your table. You haven't lost them yet.
Youth are spiritually hungry. I mean, they really, really are.
Alex McFarland of Truth for a New Generation leads these annual camps because he insists teenagers are desperate for answers.
Does truth exist? Does God exist? How can we know God exists? What about the Bible? Is the Bible true and trustworthy? What about Jesus?
Despite the culture's message that there are many paths to God and everyone has their own truth, McFarland says these kids aren't buying it.
In spite of decades of relativism really being pumped into the culture at so many levels, young people seem to intuitively know that there are some things true, there are some things false.
Daniel Ritchie, author of My Affliction for His Glory.
I think kids really feel like they're almost being encroached and attacked from every single direction, and I think they're trying to find a way to navigate that.
Even in their schools, you'll see where they have teachers, in colleges, universities, that are against what we believe, and they will be really bold about it. And I think our kids have to be equipped to withstand that, and not crumble under it.
Especially in a public school, people around you aren't always the most Christian-like.
That's why Grayson Harmon came to camp for a second year, to become grounded in the truth that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life.
He's the only way to heaven, and not just the good works we do gets us into heaven.
Versus the pantheon of all these other false gods, he's the only one that stepped into our mess and remedied it by his grace.
Ritchie comes to show teenagers that with God in their life, no amount of resistance, trials, or tribulations has to knock them off their feet.
My suffering in terms of being born without arms is it's a lifetime sentence. You know what it is to feel like life's not fair, but then to know that God in his grace is better than the infirmities and the insecurities and the sufferings that I have to face.
So he's anxious to share at camps like this one.
To give kids the opportunities to see that their hardship is a remarkable opportunity for them to share the gospel is something that I think students need to see.
Since young minds and hearts get filled with something, Miki says to fill them with what's actually true.
We are indoctrinating our kids. And when I say that, people go, well, isn't that bad? And I go, well, it depends on the type of doctrine that they're getting.
McFarland says the kids want the truth even if it's not popular with the culture.
Kids thank us. Middle schoolers thank us for not sugarcoating and being very straight.
He just counseled a young lady in a tough situation who really needed hard truth.
She looked at me and she said, look, don't sugarcoat it.
McFarland asked her why.
She said, because I know so often adults tell us what they think we want to hear. Please tell me the truth. And all around her 6 little heads were nodding in agreement.
They are bold. They are courageous. They just need to be armed with the truth. They want to be a light in darkness, but we need to make sure that we pass on that light to them.
The message from this apologetics camp: don't give up on America. And don't give up on this generation. Many of them may be biblically illiterate, but when they hear the truth, they embrace it. And so there is hope. Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from Camp Cale, North Carolina.